evening, everybody. I think the gentleman who protested must be hungry and waiting for his dinner, so we shouldn't keep him from it. And without further ado, let's start the proceedings. Well, that there is our nearest relative, you can say, the chimp. And you'd be not surprised to know that 99% of our DNA we share with him. What is that 1% which differentiates us from that chimp? In a word, art. Stonehenge, prehistoric monument, mystical, magical. It's here that we first see our ancestors' preoccupation with how did we get here? Is it a burial ground? Is it an astronomical observatory? We really don't know. The pyramids, another magical masterpiece. Here again, man is now for the first time grappling with issues of life and death. Where did we come from? Where are we going? And very mathematical, very precise. It's oriented to the constellations of Orion and very integrated with the sun. And from there we come to hieroglyphics, the first attempt at writing, at expressing ourselves and casting our own likeness in metal, in pictorial forms, the world around us. So art is really a way of understanding who we are and expressing it, to express what we feel when we look above the spirituality that is inside us. We can see in the lofty cathedrals of Gothic cathedrals, in the rose window in Notre Dame. It just evokes all that is deep within us. And in more recent times, of course, Ronchamp, where light is celebrated through the architecture, and Corbusier himself, of course, through Le Modelier, which his system he developed on the basis of the human body as a measure to translate into works of art and beauty and light. This one, I think we've all been repeating this one thing, so it must be something in common. But Van Gogh, this is what, like, it's going beyond life, isn't it? You're taking something and putting your own emotion, you're transcending it. So that is really the function of art. And love and passion, that is what makes us human, it's what drives us, and so in so many ways. I mean, the Taj Mahal, of course, Shakespeare, what's in a name, Rodin's Kiss, the Khajuraho, it is the basis of everything that is creative in us. And the Sistine Chapel, you'd be surprised to know, Michelangelo, who is perhaps the greatest architect of all time, he perhaps was a bit too lifelike for the Vatican, because after he died, they strategically placed loincloths over the objectionable bits. And this is symmetry in nature that we see all around us in its magnificent facets, in snowflakes and diamonds and honeycombs, in the backside of a zebra. And look at the butterflies, it's just beautiful. And we have tried to take that and translate it into our man-made works. And to some extent we have succeeded, but not, I think, as much as in the natural world. And as well, we find the golden mean in the Parthenon. So symmetry is really the basis. Calatrava has been shown. Here we can see that how from the sketches of the eye, he evolved the city of arts and sciences in Valencia. From the turning torso of a man, he made it into a multi-storied building. From the wings of an eagle, the train station at the WTC. And this, of course, we all know this image. But here's an interesting fact, that once it was designed, Ove Arup, the structural engineers, for 6 years they could not figure out how to build this thing. Until one day the architect was having an orange, and as he opened those segments of the orange, it all became clear how he's going to do it. And of course, the bird's nest, one of the strongest structures in nature, was an inspiration for this recent architectural marvel. It's wrapped in 36 kilometers of steel and can withstand earthquakes, which is 8 on the Richter scale. Also from the Beijing Olympics, the water cube, which takes its cue from soap bubbles. The entire roof is built in the form of bubbles of air, which traps the sunlight and heat, and then transmits it to the pool to heat that up. So that's really quite something, I think. And this one, of course, we have been quoting this. I think these are the two things that have been common in all the presentations, where really it's just merging in so beautifully. But this is a technological marvel as well, for at that time cantilevers were made possible by the RCC structures which had just come into vogue. This is, of course, one of our own projects. I don't know what happened to that language on top. This is the National Institute of Biomedical Genomics, which we are designing in Kolkata. And as genes is the basic thing of what they design, the roof and section and plan, it is all based on the double helix structure. But to come back, how did it all begin? When mankind started out, we started from what we found around us. In the deserts, we took what we got there. In the hills, we took the timber. In the beachside, we took the thatch and all of this. And so we were one with nature. But now we are going in strange directions. So is this the future that we are going, from tall to tallest to crazy? And this thing has been proposed in the middle of the desert where there's no water and it requires huge amount of electricity to get up and down. So I would just like this evening to reflect that how to go forward in this to save this beautiful blue planet which ours. We need to balance the yin and yang of the male, this thing of longer, wider, bigger, stronger, to a more feminine approach to architecture, softer, gentler, treading lightly on the ground under our feet. Thank you.